Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Tonight we're reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 8, Poised for Battle. Yo, we saw what we saw this week on Married at First Sight. We saw couples were getting seen old apartments. Or not current apartments. Their spouses' apartments. They'll see their spouses' apartments. I think we kicked off the spouses' apartment. We kicked off with Gina and Clint. And Clint was introduced to Gina's dog.
Well, again, because he met Hank before. But I think it was funny what made you... when you laughed, he was like, "Oh, what did Clint do? Just come upstairs?"
Yeah, like when you
because they live in the same building, 505.
Right,
apartment complex.
Same apartment complex. Live in the same apartment complex. Met the dog. They had deep discussion while they was at her apartment. And the deep discussion that came out while they were at the apartment was, "Are you going to move in with me?" Basically.
Right. Even though she's gotten past, kinda, and he apologized for the athletic slender comment, she feels like we're still not in that good of a place and I don't want to move in together.
Why be on the show? You know the rules, right? You know what's going to take place. If you're still feeling upset because of the slender and athletic comment, get past that. He already apologized. He apologized to you. He said, "I'm sorry, let's move on." And you agreed to move on. But you don't want to move in with him? Like, why be married and be separated? And that's what Pastor Cal said when he came. I'm going to skip ahead. Pastor Cal said, look, you're on a slippery slope, basically. If you're not together, then you're on your way to divorce and your demise. And so basically he gave them an ultimatum. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? But what I really like is that Clint was like, I don't want this. Clint, like...
He even was like... They had talked about the fact that there are 2 different bedrooms in there. You could sleep in this bedroom. I'll sleep in the other one. Just stay in the apartment. And Pastor Cal basically said to them, so you're not just choosing not to move in together. You're pretty much choosing not to be in a relationship. So what are you going to do? And even when Clint was like, well, you can be in this bedroom and I can be in that one. She was like, it's no point in that to me. To me, that's even worse than not moving in together. I'm like, what? No, it's not.
No.
What are you talking about?
She made no sense. I'd rather be in the space. At least you can be in the space, separate rooms, interact with each other daily. See how he may grow a little bit fonder of him, may be able to forgive him, may be able to interact with him more than him, in this case, wouldn't be coming across town, just going upstairs and going downstairs because they're in the same building. So I think that's why she tried to make it seem as if it's not a big issue because they're in the same building, right? I'm going to stay in my place, he's going to stay in hers. And I just thought about that, earlier today. It's not like, what's the girl name? Michaela and Zach, where she had to drive across town, and Zach had to drive across town, and they took alternating days in the apartment. None of that. She basically has to catch an elevator either up or down. We don't know which part of the building she lives in from him.
Well, this is a whole different apartment building though. So she wouldn't be coming up. Oh yeah,
she'll be driving. That's right. Totally different apartment. Sorry, because he's staying in the apartment at Married at First Sight.
Right.
Married at First Sight.
But she's going back to 505.
She's going back to 505, which makes no sense. I mean, she made Clint seem right. All she cared about is her salon and her dog. She doesn't care about him.
No, when Pastor Cal talked to him, what he said was, y'all are basing this on petty stuff.
Petty comments.
And like, this is not stuff he said, I've seen people make it through much worse. And you're stuck here.
She's stuck there. I'm not going to say he is. She's stuck there.
Because he was like, he said again, when I made the athletic and slender comment, I apologize. I wasn't saying, I wasn't talking about you, but you kind of were. Who's to say I'm not athletic? And he was like, because we talked. And you said you're not. Now let's quantify. Okay, does it make you athletic because you go to the gym? No, it does not. She tried to say like, I work out at the gym. I do HIIT these many days a week, and I'll bust your tail in the gym. That don't necessarily make you athletic. I'm thinking he's talking about athletic like runners, you know, marathon people, you know, athletic like. And let's be real, when he said athletic, he meant like your build.
Yeah,
so
talking about
more muscular,
not your ability.
Yeah, more muscular. You know, that kind of athletic.
But it shows her, this whole scene showed this with them today, with them on the show, showed her insecurities. Her insecurity about her weight, her insecurity about, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it just showed how she was not willing to forgive and forget, even though she said that we're going to move on. This is my thing. If I say I'm going to forgive and forget, I'm going to move on, guess what? I'm going to forget and move on. And I'm going to live with my spouse because I want to make this thing work. Until Pastor Cal said, she like, I don't want to be a quitter. And he told her, basically called her a quitter. She was like, oh, I don't want to quit on this. I'm going to try to work it out. And she's still hesitant.
I was about to say, in the end, she still was hesitant about moving in. Pastor Cal was like, you know, can we work it out like this? She was like, I still don't really feel. And I just wanted to say this real quick. When they were talking about, again, the athletic and slender comment, Clint brought up the fact, well, she keeps talking about ginger.
Right.
And she was like, well, you know, but I didn't think that was an offensive term because we talk about that in the salon. But what she's not understanding is you didn't just call him a ginger. You said, somebody, I don't usually like somebody with gingery features. You know, this. So it's you basically said the same thing as him. And matter of fact, he didn't even say, I don't like. He said, I typically go for. Her thing was, I don't usually like. And that's what else Pastor Cal got on him.
You're starting
to talk about negative. Why don't you find something positive and focus on that?
Focus on that. So, short or long was, I can't even remember. Did they decide to move in together? She just,
in the end, she still had angst about it and was like, she didn't want to do it.
Yeah, she didn't want to do it. She's traumatized about what he said. She can't get over it.
All right.
It's a block she can't get past.
So, let's go from them to the other couple who also had the same kind of issue.
Dominique and McKinley.
And for this, again, we see them going to visit somebody's apartment. McKinley's like, I'm going to see where Dominique lives.
Yeah.
He said, what was his sarcastic comment?
Well, I guess her apartment's not going to be a basement like mine.
Yeah. Basically, like, I'm a basement dweller, and she's not going to be.
She's not going to be a basic basement dweller.
Yeah.
So she has to. So he steps into her apartment. He sees all her stuff. She has some boxes because she's waiting to put stuff in storage. She said, this is my relaxing place. So a place where she like to relax and where she like to rest at. And the whole time in the apartment, his body language is terrible. His body language is like he doesn't want to help anything. He doesn't want to.
He don't want to be there.
He don't want to be there. He doesn't want to walk around. He doesn't want to see anything. None of that stuff in the apartment. And she felt some type of way that he doesn't want to at least, I don't want to say be nosy, peep around.
Yeah, she was like, you want to look around or whatever. He was like, no.
Got you choked up?
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah, she was like, okay, you don't have any questions to ask?
No questions.
He was like,
you don't see nothing, you don't want to do nothing, you just want. And she basically helped him move out, got her boxes. He really felt some type of way. And they talked about it later, like, look, doing this whole relationship or doing this whole, since we've been together, all you do is complain. You talk about me complaining? All you do is complain. And basically you want it one way. You don't care about anything I want to say. You don't care about anything I want to do. You want it Dominique's way, and I don't have a say in this relationship whatsoever. And she basically said, I don't hate you. I actually like you. I think we can do some things together. But I wanted somebody who's kind of adventurous.
And that was the thing that they pointed out when Pastor Cal came. But before that, I want to say, so she packed stuff. Oh, even when they got in the car, she packed stuff. They didn't do much talking in the car. It was like really dry. She pointed out, you act like you didn't want to be there. You didn't want to help or nothing. He was like, you know, you want help with the boxes? She was like, no, I'm fine. You know, and so what she did when they get back to the apartment, she takes her stuff upstairs, but then she's like, I don't think I'm going to stay. He was like, so you took all your stuff out the car, brought it upstairs, and the producer even said that. You brought it upstairs just to take it back, but you're not going to stay?
Here's what we did not see, and she shared light on this in after party. What we did not see from the show, and what you guys didn't see, is that McKinley went on a 7 to 10 minute rant about her, about all this other stuff, and he got to a point where it's like, you know what? I don't even want to be with you. So she was saying he was kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type situation. When the cameras are on, he's kind of, you know, mellow, low-key, happy type guy. But when the camera was off, he kind of got to a 10, and he was kind of upset. And she like, you're not going to talk to me like that. And I'm not going to be here if you're discussing those things and you're talking to me like that. So, yes, I'm going to take my stuff and go home. Now, that's what she said. That's not what we saw. But I'm saying that's what she said, that he went on this rant, and which made her make the final decision that I'm not going to be here with you. I am going home. I'd rather take my stuff back to my car, drive to my apartment, than be here with you. Because she also said that she doesn't see any stability in him because he's so old that he needs some stability.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. That's what she talked about with Pastor Cal.
Right.
Because after she left and went back to her place, she and McKinley have not spoken since she left. Right. And so she pulled who else had done that? I think
Alyssa did it.
Michaela and Zach did it too.
Yeah.
They came back to the apartment where a time they hadn't even spoke to each other.
Alyssa, like I said, Alyssa and Chris did it.
I mean, well, we expected her to.
Yeah.
But so she comes in, and when Pastor Cal comes, and she's like, "Oh, we got some talking to do to you, because you gave us both the complete opposite of what we asked for."
Before you go there, McKinley starts talking again. Another rant about what he's going to do to Pastor Cal and what he's going to say to Pastor Cal. And Pastor Cal ain't going to set us down and save this marriage. And said he was running Pastor Cal down. And then when Pastor Cal came in the room, it was totally opposite of what he was saying. And so he didn't say much when Pastor Cal was there. And then you go ahead.
No, you could go ahead.
But you know, even when Pastor Cal was like, we matched you guys for a reason. Because you have what he doesn't have, and you have what she doesn't have, and you guys kind of complement each other because you're not adventurous and you're not this, but she is, and she kind of got her stuff together, and you don't, and so she's kind of helping you, kind of.
But he does have himself together, but just like we've seen in the past, not the way that she would expect him to, because she was like, he's an older guy. I would expect him to be more settled. I would expect him to be more established. I wanted somebody that was established, somebody who was more mature, and that's not what he is. And, you know, he lives in a basement. I would almost rather him have 4 roommates than to be in a basement. And Pastor Cal was like, what? He said, so what? So what? Maybe people don't make decisions the way that you would make decisions, and then you get married, and so the way I make decisions and the decisions I make change then. But you can't dictate to somebody how they make their decisions, and it doesn't make him unstable. Pastor Cal's like, he's pretty established in his career, and he even shared it, I think, when he went to the apartment, talk about his cannabis business. Right. That's what he does. And Pastor Cal was like, you can't do that.
I think she doesn't understand the transition, and I think I did a video and I talked about it. I think somebody has heard in her past, I really believe that her father was unstable, and he moved around a lot, and that McKinley reminds her of him and things that probably had transpired in her life, and so she's battling with that, or she's looking at that as, oh, that's why she likes to date older men. She's looking for that fatherly figure that somebody could take care and mature and be with her. Remember, she's only 25. So she's looking for, even though she like older men, looking for that father figure more so than a husband. In just my opinion. You know, I think that's what she's looking for. And so she moves in that realm as, oh, you're not stable, so guess what? That's going to happen. Because the biggest thing is, he can pack up anytime to leave. With his boxes, and he got this, he got other, he can just pack up and go. Well, he can pack up and go next week, but he wants to be with you. And you're not giving him what he needs. And I'm not just blaming McKinley for their relationship not being where it's supposed to be at. Some of it's her. She's not communicating to him right. If you saw her, Pastor Cal said, like, when she came in, she was on the couch ready, like, for a fight.
Right.
Like, what are you, you're hard. Where are you? we let some of that in, be vulnerable to him a little bit, and allow him to come in. But he has to be truthful and have to be honest with her, and got to allow his quirkiness and his him being uneasy
and introvert
and introvertedness to be able to open up to her. And so until they can do that, and they have to live together, you have to be able to be in the same space to understand that and communicate. Because I guess my thing is, if your guys are, if they're not in the same space living together, you're not calling him every day. You're not video chatting him every day. You're not spending that time together. So how in 8 weeks can you really make a decision and say, you know what, I want to be with this person? Because you didn't really get to know them or see them in a way off camera or on camera. If you're only doing on camera stuff together, that's not marriage, right? That's not seeing them in their natural state. And so I think she has to grow up and he has to get themselves together. I think Dominique and McKinley, along with Gina and Clint, their marriage is on a rocky road right now.
Yeah, and it is not going to benefit them at all. At one point, Dominique was like, too, I'm over it. And Pastor Cal was like, look.
I forgot to count how many times he took his glasses off.
He took them off. He said, like, over it. Explain what you mean. Over this conversation or over the marriage. And that's kind of like where we left them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she was like, this is not what I asked for.
Yeah.
You gave me what I didn't ask for. But I also was like, for somebody to say you gave me what I didn't ask for, first of all, you didn't sign yourself up for Married at First Sight. Your mother did.
Go ahead and preach.
Now, you then was in the process, but I don't know how much of that paperwork she actually filled out.
Preach.
But I know McKinley said himself, he wasn't that specific
Preach.
on his application. So, for two people that weren't that specific on what they asked for, how can you say, I didn't get what I asked for?
Right, you better preach. You might just give you an offering. That's how we're going to bring a point. Y'all never really specified what you really want. I would have went back to my application like, nah, I want this person, I want that, I want this. And Pastor Cal kind of alluded to, y'all really didn't say this.
But what they did do, he said, but we matched you because you need this pulled out of you here.
Yeah.
You need this pulled out of you here. And she can pull that out of you, he can pull that out of you. That's why we matched y'all together.
So make it work. Or work it out.
I don't think so. I think right now the two couples we just talked about, we're going to be 0-2 for them. I don't think it's going to work out.
Nah. I don't think so neither. But let's go to my man, Nicole. Nicole and Chris. We see Nicole and Chris. It's funny, they go to Chris's apartment. And he introduces her to his two dogs. I can't remember their name.
Coda and Kobe. Yeah,
Coda and Kobe. Well, Coda having a good time on the pillow. Or having a good time on the bed. And Nicole was like, oh, that's what we be gonna do? That's what he be seeing you do?
If that's the case, then I think Mama's gonna have a good time. I was like, really? Because that dog was tearing that pillow up.
Did he went in the living room and did the same thing?
He was humping the daylights out of that pillow.
But and then she, again, I like Nicole. She's funny to me.
I like her too.
But then she still goes in there and makes a little doggy puppet show. Start doing a little puppet thing with the dog.
She put the little toys up or whatever.
I like, what?
To talk to the dogs.
But they talked about the dog space again, about how they only can bring 2 dogs into the apartment. But they did something that when I saw them do this, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if did they watch last season, or last season was going on when they was getting married, but they didn't do what Justin and Alexis didn't do. They took their dogs to meet outside.
They did.
In a park or in a little doggy park, in a doggy arena, whatever case means, doggy playground, and allow them to introduce their dogs that way instead of opposed to what happened last season. But it was good to see that their dogs got along.
They did.
They
did. But she did say that Charlie won't be there to start with. Charlie's going to be with her dad.
Right.
And right now her dad's still there. He's not in Florida. So she'll be able to go see Charlie. And so when they were at there, he talked about the fact that both of our leases are going to be up soon.
About the same time.
Yours a little bit longer. She said she's got 2 more extra weeks past him.
Yeah.
As far as the lease for the apartments where they're staying right now. And so Chris was like, I was thinking about it after decision day, what are we gonna do with our apartments? And it might work out, it might not. She's like, I don't want to hear it. And he was like, but I mean, you have to, think about that. And his thing was, why don't we, if you have the option, let's both renew our leases at our places for 9 months. And, and then his thing was, even after decision day, if we could stay a little bit here, stay a little bit there at each other's places. And Nicole was like,
no.
I think it's going to be a major shift to go from seeing each other every day, staying with each other every day, to then we going to our separate apartments because we had to renew the lease. And she was like, it'll be like we went from dating, married to dating. And even with our Married at First Sight, of course we're going to be dating, but it'd be more like regular dating. And she was like, I could see us going from seeing each other 5 days a week or staying with each other 5 days a week to like 2. I don't think that's going to be beneficial. And she really wanted to say more than that, but in that space she didn't. And she kind of relented and went with what he said, because that's the same thing he told Pastor Cal.
Yeah.
When Pastor Cal came. And Pastor Cal was like, no.
And then she said, well, we're going to do our leases for 9 months. And then she agreed. My thing is, too, first of all, I mentioned this in the last week's video. He's not a thinker. And he doesn't think out. If she has a little bit more time than you on your apartment, on her lease, let your lease shut down. Move your stuff into her apartment. Even if y'all said no on decision day, right? It gives you 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. It gives you 2 extra weeks to find you a new apartment. A new place. If y'all say yes, or there's gonna be a yes, then it gives you could go find a place together, which is not hers or yours, and you'll be back in that neutral setting like you were on the show. That's what I would have done. And you're still saving money.
Right.
Like, what are we doing here? Why? Come on, bruh. Because
that was my first thought, too. I was like, no, renew one of the leases.
Right.
Not both of them. One of them.
Right, and let the other person
and
just be a
then go
roommate.
From there. Yeah.
Be a roommate. Y'all at least going to be cordial, because I don't think this is going to end badly. You at least be cordial enough. Well, wait. So, hey, you can stay here another 2 weeks so you get yourself together, and we can move on. They didn't think it through, and they both now have renewed their lease for 9 months. Listen, it's not good. It's not good for marriage.
Pastor Cal was like, no, that is not. Listen to what y'all are saying. It's not. You don't go from being together all the time to your own apartment. And then Pastor Cal is also like, why would you do that?
Who's going to be where? Because what's going to happen is somebody's going to eventually stay at the other person's house on a regular basis if you're together, and then somebody's going to be wasting money. It is like, doesn't make any sense. But we did find out that they did consummate their marriage.
Yes. And she was like, and if you hurry up and go, we can do it again.
We can do it again. So she's happy with Chris. She's happy. She's hot to trot, and she's comfortable.
The other thing with them is, Pastor Cal brought up the fact that she felt like maybe he wouldn't be able to handle her at a 10, and he was like, "No, I think it's fine. I haven't even seen her at that level." And she was like, "You haven't?" And so they show a video like behind the scenes where they're looking at the wedding pictures. She was like, "Oh my God, this is a terrible picture. I don't know who took this picture." To the point where, she just keeps fussing about it, complaining about it. Then she puts the picture up in the camera. F whoever did this. Why would you take this picture? You suck. Da-da-da. She's going off.
She's going in.
It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it was definitely like, why?
That's that. She's fun loving, but at the same time, she is very
FBI
and New Yorker, straightforward. This is what I want, and I'm still questioning if Chris can handle that when she really goes off the rails, and how does he reel her back in? But only time will tell. That's kind of it with them. Let's go to Shaq and Kirsten. We see Shaq goes to Kirsten's apartment. Why did he go there?
He was like, it don't even look like it's lived in. Now, it's one thing to be like really neat it's another thing. He was like, it's so minimal. Like,
nothing on the wall.
Nothing on the wall.
No nightstands.
No, she didn't have a nightstand. He was like, where do you put your phone when you're charging it? She was like, on the bed.
No dress.
It was like she didn't have no dress. Like, he was like, I can't.
No pictures of families and friends.
He was like, I cannot. What is this?
No organized. The shoe closet wasn't organized. He was like, oh my God, this makes me cringe. And what she said on the after party was that she very rarely at her apartment. She had ordered some furniture, but because of the pandemic, it got back ordered. And then by that time, she just canceled it, and she didn't want it again. And then Clint made the joke, man, you can get that, pick some furniture up off the street. Then she made to the point was, I can afford it, I just haven't gotten it.
So get it.
Like, I just haven't gotten
it. But
it.
even besides that, I mean, in the kitchen, it looked like she don't know how to eat or cook in the kitchen. It just don't look like nobody lives there. He was like...
It almost looked like somebody staged it and just put stuff in it, right?
Yeah, but they didn't even stage it well.
Nah, they didn't.
You know, he was just like, oh my gosh, yeah. He was definitely said he was getting anxiety standing in her closet. He was like,
Like, you just got t-shirts, you got paperwork
you got
here.
Stuff they ain't even on the hanger all the way. You just threw it on there. Why you didn't fold it like this? What is this?
He in his mind, he's like, and you call yourself a woman. No, that's what he was probably thinking. Like, I'm more organized than you are. But when they had a conversation with Pastor Cal, Pastor Cal comes and speaks to them, and we come to find out that she admits it. She's not really attracted to Shaquille.
Well, yeah, Pastor Cal asked him, is it any chemistry? And she says no. And Shaquille's like, what? He was like, you lay on me, we cuddle in the bed, I kiss you on the forehead. What do you mean there's no chemistry?
How much chemistry can you get from kissing for somebody on the forehead?
But Pastor Cal put in perspective, was like, you can't say there's no chemistry.
Right.
Because why would you be, loving like that with him if there's no chemistry?
Yeah, there's some type of chemistry.
And she was like, oh, yeah. Then she acknowledged, well, okay, yeah. Now, it ain't butterflies and rainbows and sparkles and stuff like that, explosions, no, but it's a start, So,
it's not what she expected. She expected that, like you said, that butterflies, all that. And again, she talked about the bald head. And she talked about the bald head and how that was not what she wanted. But he treats her right. He does everything for her. She says all the good things about Shaquille. She says, he does everything. He listens to her. He talks, he's focusing on her. He said to Pastor Cal, I even over-communicate, so I can make sure we don't have any argument. Pastor Cal looked at him like, bro, you doing everything right. Good job, right? And so she loves the fact that he communicates. It's just that she can't get past the attraction.
And she also said, he jokes around too much. He plays too much. Kind of irritates me. And Pastor Cal put in perspective, like, look, I've been married to my wife for a long time. And I tell corny jokes. And she don't like it. But it's me. Yeah. So he was basically like, it's him. Just deal with it. And ignore it if you have to. But just let him be corny. Let him be cheesy.
I've been married to my wife for a long time. And she don't like my corny jokes neither. Yep. So just let me be me, please.
I do let you be you.
I know you do.
I be me, and I don't laugh at the stupid jokes.
I know. I make corny jokes on here too. So some people laugh. Some people like them. Anyway, but yeah, allow him to be him. I mean, she's trying to change him, and you can't change him. He that's how he maintains, and that's how he's have laughter. That's how he's fun. He wants to do fun. I mean, Pastor Cal said this. He said, y'all can be a power couple. And I know you don't like the term because they always say a lot of couples can be power couples, but they can be a couple where things can go very well for them. If she can open up and get past the bald head, that they can be successful. You didn't see much intimacy with them. They haven't, like I said, they hold hands. He put her hands on the thigh, all that, but there haven't been any sex.
As opposed to Chris and Nicole.
Right.
Pastor Cal was like, man, I don't think y'all can get any closer than y'all. They were very close, holding hands, very touchy-feely. And
but you see body language. You see the body language of the couples on the couch, and you can tell how they're interacting with each other, because Chris and Nicole were close.
Yeah, so let me go through that. Yeah, because at least Gina and Clint were sitting on the same couch. They weren't. I mean, they were obviously apart, but it wasn't as aggressive as Dominique and McKinley. That Dominique and McKinley are sitting on opposite ends of the couch, and she was like. Then you see Chris and Nicole close.
I mean, he had to know the arm was wrapped up with each other. So
yeah, real close. And then Shaquille and Kirsten.
A little separation.
Well, no, they were sitting next to each other too. It just wasn't. They weren't cuddled up like Chris and Nicole. And so then we go to
Jasmine and Airris, who was real close with each other, and he had his hand intertwined on her thigh, and they basically was Let's back up. He went to her house. Mm-hmm. He saw her house. She was introduced to the dogs.
Yes, the puppies.
Right, she was introduced to all the puppies, and she's only bringing one to the apartment.
Which is the mama. The mama had puppies, and they're all golden doodles. They're so cute.
Yeah, and he talked about how he wanted to marry a queen, and he see all her pageant stuff, and she explains to him how she moved up in the pageant world and how many. There are different pageant systems and circuits.
Yeah, because his thing was, okay, so what's the next thing you'll be winning? And that's when she explained, okay, so then there's this pageant system and there's this one. So you don't necessarily move through to Miss America or Miss USA in every pageant system. And he was like, he said again, I asked her for a queen, and here I am standing in her apartment with her crowns and stuff. Like, she put her crown on in there. Explaining that with the pageant thing and everything,
which we saw some good chemistry between the two. Pastor Cal comes over and they start to have the discussion about attraction, and Airris says, like he always says, my wife finds me very, very attractive, which I don't know how to take that, because do we take it as if she does find him attractive, but also take it as he ain't
all that to me.
You ain't married to him. He think he's the ish.
I know, but he ain't all that to me. I got that impression too. He made it like I'm a catch, and I was like, pipe down.
Yeah, like I'm that dude. I'm like that. I'm that guy.
Which disturbs me that he don't think. I'm like, bro, that's a pretty lady. Mm-hmm. What? I just be like, I would love to see these other women that he messed with. I just feel like they're no match for her.
I mean, they may have more butt. Remember, he was a butt guy.
But how about beside the butt? What about her face?
Right, but he's basing it off of physical attraction. And what he said was, he says, he was stressed on the honeymoon because of Jasmine's greater attraction to him, but he was trying to do something different. Mm-hmm. Which now, I don't know if he was really trying to do something different, or was he said that after she shut him down, because before she shut him down, he was trying to get some trim, some draws, GTD, whatever. And then she shut him down. Now he feels like, oh, she's really attracted to me. He's like, I felt that attraction. I felt that energy. I felt all that on the honeymoon. But I wanted to do something different. She said, I want him to just take my clothes off.
But I'm glad it got shut down, because we don't want it to be the case of Paige and Chris, where he called sis ugly, but he said, I thought it would help if I had sex with her. Never has that ever worked. Oh,
my hat's off to Airris trying to being able to check himself, right? Being able to check his emotions, check his feelings, and knowing that he's not really attracted to her, but not try to just be a pull of Chris and meet attraction to sex. And I'm also glad that she admitted it too, that he's open and honest.
And she appreciated it.
And he's open and honest. He's willing to converse with Pastor Cal or even with her about what's going on and how he feels. I have no problem with Airris being able to communicate that to her, and they can work some things out. And then Pastor Cal was like, you're doing, bruh, you hurting yourself. Mm-hmm. You're overthinking. You're doing too much. And they had to talk about qualities, what he liked. He said, look, I think she has great qualities. She got a lot of many hats. She does this. She take care of kids. She take care of dogs.
And he even said that. I feel like, you know, if I get old and gray and I'm sick and, you know, I had to leave my kids, I could trust her that she would take care of the kids. They'd be taken care of. Pastor Cal was like, that's what you need to focus on.
Yeah.
Build your attraction that way.
But, you know, and that is good. And she even said the qualities she liked about Airris, how he's hardworking and how he's considerate and how he's kind and how he communicates. And you sitting there looking like y'all two are, and again, we talked about body language. They're holding each other's hand, hands on the thigh. And you sitting there like, and what's the problem? Right? Is it just is it just the look of her? Is it just because she doesn't have a big butt? Because y'all compliment each other.
You don't see the butt all the time.
Right. You have good conversation. You're open. You're honest. You're being able to work around things and work with each other and work towards things together. You still like her family. She likes your family, and you're interacting with one another. And you sitting there and be like, dog, what? I don't know about y'all, but I'm sitting there like, right. And Pastor Cal sitting there confused like, what's the problem?
Right.
Like, y'all working, this is what you ask for. It may not be exactly, it's like we talk about all the time. We can't put what you put on the sheet in a machine and pops out exactly what you ask for. But
definitely not when it comes to physical characteristics.
Yeah.
You can cancel that.
Right, but the emotional characteristics, the way she treats you, all that is building there, and they need to continue to build a relationship that will continue to move in a positive progression. They need to move positively. They need to talk positively and continue to embrace. And Airris needs to kind of relax and let his guard down a little bit, and not necessarily let her in emotionally, but let her in physically, and take her out. I'm about to say take her off the cross. She ain't on the cross, but allow her to be able to maneuver. And these two, I think, I like them together. I think, even though people give me a hard time, I think Airris, he wants to do something different. I think he wants this to work. He wants to try this, but he can't get past the attraction piece.
I think if you ask me, I think he's talking a good game. Okay. He's saying he wants to do something different, and he does want to do something different. But at the same time, he's doing that different because he's not attracted to her. And he's putting it under the guise of I'm doing something.
Okay, I'll give you that. He's doing it different because he's not attracted. If he was attracted to her, you think he was already...
he would have smashed already.
He would have smashed already.
Absolutely.
But she wants him to smash.
I know, but he's not attracted to her like that.
Well, yes, but I didn't even think that makes her feel kind of bad.
Oh yeah.
So I think we hit every couple. Next week's gonna be a little bit blow up because they got parties. Family members come in and we get to see Airris' cousin again. I do that.
I'm not convinced.
I'm convinced that's his real cousin, but
I'm not
she's
convinced.
really involved in
some of the things. Yeah.
She's involved in Airris' life, and somehow you don't believe that's his cousin, but
I ain't the only one.
Oh, a lot of people out there don't believe that. But again, that was this episode of Married at First Sight. If we missed anything, let us know. Leave a comment in the comment section below.
Because I'm sleepy.
You sleepy? Wait, I don't think we missed too much. But hey, leave a comment in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. And again, you guys have a great day. Peace.